Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's Wild Rift video. You can tell that my setup is a little bit different for today's video. Unfortunately, I don't have internet in my house, so I'm going to have to do all these recordings and do all these streams for the new patch at my auntie's house. So that's why I might sound a little bit different and my background and everything might look a little bit different. But anyway, that's not why I'm here. We're here to talk about the new champions. Now, first up, we're going to be talking about Shen. Shen is a Baron lane tank. He can do a lot of damage as well at the same time. He has loads of mobility. He has ways to block attacks, to teleport around the map as well, and just overall really, really good champion. And it's a new tank into the game, so I think tanks are going to be quite important because at the moment there's not really a lot of tanks at the moment in the game. So getting Shen into the meta will be quite fun. For the build, Sunfire Aegis, just a core item, really helps with the wave clear for Shen, because Shen doesn't really have a lot of wave clear when clearing minions, so Sunfire Aegis will help with that, and just overall a great tank item, you know, maximum health, ability haste and everything as well, which is all very, very useful for Shen. Thornmail as a second item, and more maximum health, more armor as well. The great thing about Thornmail is that you can inflict more grievous wounds when immobilizing the enemy, which when I go into the abilities, I'll explain to you that your third ability is a great tool for that. You've also got the extra magic damage that you can deal as well when an enemy attacks you. Now, when you use your third ability, you taunt the enemy, so that means that they will be attacking you every single time. So that means that you get to deal extra magic damage because you're going to be reflecting the damage from that. For the boots, most of the time you'll be going plated steel caps. You can go for the other defensive boots if you want to. The Mercury treads. Just depends on the situation of the game. In terms of boots upgrade, most of the time you will go for stone plate, but you can also go for proto belt. Proto belt's another way to try and gap close, so you can use your third ability to use your taunt, but most of the time stone plate is really good. Rando's Omen, another tank item. Like I said, all these items are going to be tanks. Maximum health, armor, reducing the damage from critical strikes, and also reducing the attack speed as well of the enemies when they attack you. Force of Nature is your magic resist item. It gives you a little bit of movement speed as well, and gives you more movement speed and magic resist every single time you take ability power damage, and again more maximum health. And then last item, Warmogs, just so you're able to like heal up over time when you're out of combat, which is quite important. You get a lot of maximum health as well, but honestly any other defense items, you know, will work completely fine, to be fair. You've got what's the other good items? Abyssal Mask is quite good because with Shen you'll be on top of enemies, even though the mana doesn't really help you because Shen has energy. It's still quite good because when you jump on top of the enemies you'll deal more damage with your abilities, and you also allow your other allies to help you with that. Dead Man's Plate is also another great item. You can even go Iceborne Gauntlet as well, another good item. There's plenty of good items. For the runes, Grasping the Undying is a go-to rune for tanks. You use this on like Dr. Mundo, Malphite as well. Every single time you walk up, you're going to be using your first ability to get deal more damage when you're trading with the enemy in the Baron lane. And Grasping the Undying just helps you with that. It allows you to stack health, to heal as well, to deal bonus magic damage. So overall, it's just a great rune. For the first rune, I've gone for weakness here. This can be changed maybe to Triumph. I think Triumph might be pretty good, to be fair, but weakness is also very good. When you engage, most of the time you will be using your taunt, and you will be impairing the movement of the enemies because they'll be taunted, so that's quite good for that. Hunter Titan is a great rune as well, again just making sure that you get more tenacity with Shen because you're going to be in amongst the enemies a lot of the time. Condition is also pretty good if you want to scale a lot into the mid and late game just to get more armor, more magic resist. Adaptive Carapace if you want to be more aggressive during the laning phase. Again, this kind of depends on the situation of the game, and it depends on your playstyle as well at the same time. But for me, I like Hunter Titan. And for the third rune, you got Sweet Tooth or Hunter Genius. If you feel like you need more ability haste, if you want your taunt to be up more often in your ultimate, then you can go ability haste. If not, if you want to focus more on lane phase, you can go for Sweet Tooth. And then we have Flash and Ignite as the summoner spells. Now, let's jump into a quick practice game with Shen so I can show you all the abilities. But yeah, Shen, even though that he is a tank, he is actually pretty good as a tank. I'll be totally honest with you. He's one of the strongest tanks, and he can actually deal a lot of damage, especially in the early game as well. So that's going to be really, really important to make sure that you use his advantages in the laning phase, which I'll talk to you now through, you know, all of his abilities and everything to quickly do that. This is probably going to be completely unedited because I don't really have the tools to edit videos and everything. I can record and I can upload, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to edit with this. So with Shen, I'm going to talk you through all the abilities. I know all the abilities and everything already because I've been playing PC League for a long amount of time. So let me just quickly disable all the bots. Let me just quickly get a little bit of gold so I can buy all the items as well. And you can kind of see how tanky Shen gets as well. Put all the items in the abilities. In the spells. Or the abilities. It is the abilities. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's put a few target dummies down as well. Right, so first off, let's take a look at Shen's passive. So for Shen's passive, we have Key Barrier. So you gain a shield that absorbs damage for a few seconds after completing an ability. If the ability affected at least one champion, Key Barrier's cooldown will be reduced by 7.5 seconds. And you also gain a little bit of energy shield. You also gain energy as well when the ability damages enemies. So most of the time, you've got your first ability here. This is your dagger. I'll explain the first ability in a second. But when you use it, you can see the passive underneath the energy bar. This is rising up the whole time. Then when it's up and available again, you can use it again and you'll gain the shield. So when the bar below your energy turns red, you can use an ability and you will gain a shield. And the great thing is what it says is that if the ability damages the enemies, then it will reduce the cooldown by 7.5 seconds. You can see that the bar is going up by quite a lot. So you can use your E on top of that, and then you can use your Q straight afterwards every single time your passive is up and available. So you can see there's a big difference between hitting enemy with your abilities and not hitting an enemy with your abilities. For the first ability, Twilight Assault, is quite a big one, to be fair. You have that dagger, which I just mentioned, which kind of stays in its place, but you can use it to kind of bring it towards you in a way. So you record the Spirit Blade and enhance the next 3 attacks to deal additional damage of the target's maximum health. If the Spirit Blade passes through an enemy, the damage bonus is increased as well, and Shen gains 50% attack speed. So again, making sure that you use your first ability to go through the target dummies or through enemies, making sure that blade is between you and the enemy before you use it is really important, which you can use this in combo with your third ability and then use that to get the extra attack speed and the extra auto attack damage. Enemy champions the Spirit Blade passes through are slowed as well, and you also deal a little bit of damage to monsters. So it's like I said, it's really important to make sure the first ability goes through the target dummies or through the enemies, so you get the extra little bit of damage. You get the reduced cooldown of the passive as well at the same time. The second ability, you got Spirit Refuge, which sends the Spirit Blade to an allied champion, creating a zone that blocks enemies' attacks for just under 2 seconds. So you can use this on yourself. You can see it basically recalls your blade as well. This is another way that you can, kind of use to, if you want to taunt, use your second ability and then auto attack a few times and use your first ability straight afterwards. You can do this in so many combinations. You can also use this on allied champions as well. So if I get an allied dummy, you can also use the second ability on there. So you can use this on the carries to block attacks as well, which is quite nice. And yeah, just overall, it's just a more defensive tool. So you can block attacks, you can block pretty much everything that comes towards you. Third ability, Shadow Dash. It dashes forward, dealing physical damage to enemy champions and monsters, taunting them for a few seconds. So I've already used this ability a bit, but you can see the taunt here. You can use a taunt, and as you can see, the taunt will basically make the enemy move towards you and also attack you, which is why Thorn Mail is really good. So most of the time, you want to do taunt and then first ability and then auto attack a few times, because your first ability will most likely go through the target dummy, because your sword will be, maybe your sword's like back here, for example. If your sword's all the way back here, you can use your third ability, auto attack, first ability, auto attack a few times, and then you also have your second ability as well. So even though you're taunting them, the damage that they deal to you will also be blocked by the second ability. So that's quite awesome. And then you have Stand United as the ultimate, which channels for a few seconds, shielding allied champion for a little bit of damage for 5 seconds. And this is increased based on the target's missing health. And upon completing the channel, Shen teleports to the target ally. Now, this is really, really insane. This is a complete global ultimate. So you can be anywhere on the map at any point. It doesn't really matter at all where you are on the minimap. You can use the ultimate, and as you can see, if you hold the ability, you can pick which dummy or which ally you want to go to. This also moves the camera, so you can see how low your allies are. But as you can see, I can be anywhere on the map at all. I can be all the way down here if I want to, and I can use the ultimate. You can see that it channels for a little bit, and then I'll teleport then, and I can use my taunt, my first ability straight afterwards, my second ability, and I can basically help out the team. So Shen can be used as a Baron laner, but also as a support as well, because you can use all these abilities as a support. The third ability, the ultimate as well, can be quite good with support Shen, so might definitely give that a try as well. In terms of combos with Shen, you can use your E and then flash to actually taunt. I completely missed that, my mistake. There you go. So you can use your third ability and then use your flash just as it's about to end, and this makes the reaction time, or the this makes it harder for the enemy to react to your taunt. So again, I'll show you third ability and then flash, and as you can see, if you go on top of the target dummy when you flash, you'll be able to quickly get a taunt off, and this is pretty much the basic combo. This is kind of the main combo as well with Shen, because most of the time you will be engaging with your third ability and with your flash. So you go third ability into flash, you get the taunt, use your first ability to get the attack speed and extra damage, and use the second ability on top of that as well, so then you block the damage. So that's kind of your main engage tool. As mentioned before, the other combos that you can do is your third ability, and then afterwards do in combination with your first ability, and then auto attacking 3 times. This means that your blade will most likely go through the target dummy and do quite a lot of damage, as you can see. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for Shen. Gone through the build, gone through the combos, gone through everything else. I'll probably do another video on Shen as well, just to run through pretty much everything else with Shen, with gameplay, maybe a support Shen guide as well. I'll be definitely doing a lot more of that. So that's it for the Shen video. Oh, I nearly forgot actually, the level priority. Completely nearly forgot about the level priority. So level priority with Shen, what you want to do is at level 1 you want to go for your first ability, so you can use this to auto attack, deal a little bit of extra damage. Then at level 2 you want to go for your third ability, so you can use that combo that I mentioned, your third ability into your first ability, and go for your second ability. And then you want to make sure you max your first ability first, because this is kind of your main damage tool, and you want to have this off cooldown as much as possible. And then you want to go for your third ability, making sure that you level up your ultimate when possible, and then finish off. Oh, I completely misjudged that. So first ability, obviously point in each one with your ultimate as well. Go for your max your third ability, max in your ultimate, as I said, when possible, and then max in your second ability. So that is pretty much everything that I can think of. I spoke about everything. Hopefully this little guide will help you out a lot. As mentioned, I'll probably do another Shen video as well with gameplay, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon for the combo video that will be coming out very, very soon as well. Take care. Peace.